All right, so, all right, so now what we want to show you is how to create a data prep template that you can use for future projects. So you've gone through and you've created all these layers and these materials and other information. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do a save as, and I'm just going to call it, I'm going to put it where I want to save it for now. And I'm just going to call it, in this case, 2020 data prep, and I'm gonna call it to be a template. All right, this is just a temporary one. All right, and I'm just naming this so you can see the difference. I mean, you can save it as whatever you want, but I wanted to save, my changes, and then I'm doing a save as to save this project as a new project. Now, as long as you did in CAD under Layer Manager, all the layers that you created, you want to protect, okay? So if I come in here, I want to make sure, like this boundary one, I want to protect that because I want that to be available later on. That one actually, we're going to have to create a new group, so I don't think I saved that, but that's going to be my Works Manager group. All right, so from our Works Manager lesson, all right, so I'm going to save that one and protect it. I'm going to just kind of scroll down here and to see 0 is always going to be protected. These other layers I don't want to protect because I actually want to remove those. I want to make sure all my DTM layers are protected. I want to make sure that my original ground contours are, my points are, my stakeout layers. So I'm just verifying that everything has been protected that I want to keep. Okay. Now once that's done, I'm going to close this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to View Filter Manager and I'm going to turn everything on. So I'm going to turn on all the layers and all the information so that when I do a Control A, which is going to select everything, it'll all get removed. Now you can also go over here and you can simply right click and delete these files. So you'll see when I delete these files, all this information gets removed, okay, except for the stuff that we obviously created. On the project, if you have a Works Manager project, you want to select it and then use the delete key or button up here. All right. We don't have any, we do have utility network, so we do want to come in here and delete those, get rid of those, and that'll delete those objects. Under surfaces, we can go ahead and delete that surface altogether. And then under points, we want to make sure we get rid of all those points as well. Okay, so I'm getting rid of everything, and then I'm going to basically, now that everything is hopefully turned on, and whatever I didn't remove using that method, I'm going to do a Control A to select everything, and I'm going to delete. So now everything should be gone, everything should be deleted. You will notice that my state plane system or coordinate system is set to Virginia North. But everything else has been cleaned up, except I still have a bunch of layers. So what we want to do now is go to our data prep, go to project cleanup, and we want to clean up and get rid of all this unnecessary stuff that we have. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep this all as remove overlapping edges, remove layers, line styles, everything that's not being used I'm going to get rid of. So I'm going to go ahead and apply, and you'll see that it removes a bunch of stuff. Specifically, what I'm mostly looking for is unprotected layers, okay? Now, if I look over here under layers, I can see that I don't have any of those garbage layers that came from the CAD file, but I do have all my layers that I created. So now on my next project, I won't have to create these layers again. I can simply just standardize and change layers as I need to for future projects. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to click Save as Template. It's going to come up and you can see that it's going to save that template where the rest of my templates are stored. So what I'm going to be able to do here is come in and say, this is my data prep for small site, and it's in US foot and VA North. All right, so I'm just telling it pretty much all the information. So maybe I make another one and I save it as VA South. And then that way those coordinate systems are saved. But as soon as I do this and save it, that's going to save that template. So now when I go to File, New, you'll see that I've got that new template. And when I start a new project now, you want to pay attention up here. This is unnamed, but you'll notice that all my layers are still there. If I go into that Material Site Improvement Manager, I've got those materials that we created for our site textures. And now I'm ready to start importing data and repeating the data prep process that you just went through.